to know who needs to hear this? Well, yes, I do, but they're not going to listen. If you're a woman who wants to be in a relationship with a man, the man that you're looking for was probably not a character written by a woman. He's going to be a real person. Real people have flaws and inconsistencies and things they're trying to change about themselves. That applies to us too. And if he has emotional intelligence, which I know you want, and he can read the room socially, which I know you want him to be able to do, he's probably not going to cold approach you at like pickleball or the gym or somewhere just because you want to meet somebody out in the wild. The consequences of misreading someone's romantic interests are just too high. And I know you want somebody who can respect boundaries and take no for an answer. Whatever, listen or don't, I'm not selling you anything.
I need someone to explain this to me. Why is it in the dating world, a man will pursue you for, 2 months, and you finally give in, show some interest, start hanging out, and then they act like, oh no, gotta go, I'm too busy, I don't got time. What do you mean you don't got time? You've been pursuing me for the last 2 months. Finally gave in because I wasn't going to let anybody ruffle my feathers or get in my head. And here we are. Oh, dating sucks in 2026 too.
Guy here in the comments said, why did it take you 2 months to show interest? Keep it real, ladies. If he's interested, respond. He's not hunting. This isn't a sport. Stop playing hard to get. Stop playing hard to get, or you won't get got. That's really the long and short of it. And then they act confused as to why men ain't pursue it.
Women's parasocial behavior is accepted by society. Forgot I'm happily married and pregnant for a second there. Men's parasocial behavior is immediately negatively reinforced, but women, we egg each other on. I hate seeing posts like this because not all women are like this, but come on, man. Come on. If you are a single woman right now, you know that this dating pool, oh my God, it's foul. All of you fuckers in relationships, healthy relationships right now, hold on to them because it's brutal out here. It's literally January 11th and I could tell you, I think 5 different stories just between me and my friends that have occurred just this year with how these men think that they can talk to us and like how much of little fucking princesses they are. I'm sorry. I have proof now. I'm not just saying this just to say this. I have literal proof of these. It's insane. So me and one of my best friends have decided that the dating this year is just going to be science experiments. Science experiments, research, doing it simply for research to figure out what the fuck these men are thinking. It's actually fucking wild. I don't even have words. Should I make a series of like all these stories that are occurring? Like this man wants to go on a date with me tomorrow and what he suggested, the energy is just not there. But I want to go on the date solely for research purposes.
You couldn't think of a lie fast enough. Solely to get this food. Solely to get this free meal. Y'all are not slick. I'm looking at your profile right now, and I can see exactly what you've been up to. I can see exactly what you're up to right now. Sadie, what are you doing? Y'all think the way y'all show up on here, y'all be trying to be cute. Y'all be trying to act cute. Y'all be taking these certain types of photos. Listen, man, you're not fooling nobody. You be moving. Listen, man, you're an aesthetic. You're a certain aesthetic. You be out here doing what you're not supposed to be doing, involved in stuff that you're not supposed to be involved in. And when men don't take you seriously, then you get upset. No. I mean, if y'all want to, y'all go ahead and do this. Y'all go ahead and run after this. But you already told us what you're out here doing. You already told us what you're going to be doing. Nah. Absolutely not. No. Those rolls do look good, though. Texas Roadhouse. I was thinking about Texas Roadhouse a minute ago. And that's exactly where I'm going to be going soon. My wife loves it, so I ain't going to get no pushback from her. Oh, she's crying about something. I ain't going to make fun of her. I'm going to let that go.
So this is an exclusively male thing, and I have to know why they do it, okay? I have to wait. gonna draw you a diagram. Okay. When they go out for coffee, let me show you. This is the table, all right? This is terrible. Okay. They will sit, so there's space for 4 people, right? We know that women would sit where? They'd sit here, facing each other here. Or sometimes they'll sit here and here so they can face inwards that way. But men, no. They do this. They sit here and then they sit on a 45 degree and then they face each other that way. That way. My feng shui brain is like, what?
Guy here in the comments says people are not pointing out sitting at a 45-degree angle maximizes the available visual field covered per person. Instead of one person staring at a wall, they can share the threat assessment by watching each other's back. Thanks, Travis. I appreciate that.
Being a man would be so entirely boring because we're going to shoot, right? We're going to a range. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go curl my hair first. And my friend was like, why would you curl your hair? And I was like, to feel pretty. He was like, we're going to a range. I said, yeah. What's your point? Just, why would I not?
The other day, I went out with a man who was 6'5". I'm 5'4", for reference. I asked him whether he likes dating tall women or short women or like what his type is kind of. He said that he doesn't like tall women. And I was like, that's bizarre because why? Basically, he said that like as a tall man, he's already like having to take up so much space. And he doesn't like being with a woman who also requires a lot of space. I don't know why. Like that answer just, it didn't sit right with me. And then, I mean, there was also like the element of like, oh, I like small girls because I could like throw them around and blah, 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 which like, whatever, that's weird on its own. But I don't know. I didn't really like that answer.
And this is the problem that we're running into. Really honestly and truly, there's a lot of stuff that a man can say, no matter the way he says it. Oh, it just didn't sit right with me. Oh, it just something in my gut. Once again, for your gut, if you're having temporary discomfort, maybe try Pepto-Bismol in liquid form, chewables, or tablet form to help that nausea and that general feeling of sickness. You've got Dramamine and some other things that will help with, once again, drowsiness and nausea. If you want a more natural thing, you could do ginger. You could do lemon. You could mix a little bit of, orange juice in there or something sweet to take away the sting and the burn and the power from the ginger, right? But there are plenty of different things that you can do to help out with that gut feeling that modern women like to get. What would we need that for? Because a lot of time y'all gut be wrong. And so now I'm starting to prescribe some medicine to clear that gut out and settle that gut before you make a decision and call it intuition. When it really was, I was feeling bad that day. I don't know what I was thinking because I was out of my element and out of my mind and I was feeling bad. I made a bad decision. And then I said, well, that was just my gut feeling. That was my intuition. That was just a woman's intuition, and it'd be dead wrong. So let's get your body settled first. And then you make a decision on whether you want to believe or feel something. Let's do that. There was a woman on here trying to shame a man, talking about it was my gut feeling. Gut feeling was dead wrong. It just didn't sit right with me what he was doing. And the way you might have been sitting was hurting your back. Leave men alone.
This TikTok is part 1 of messages from men. So, this man, wait, I'm on the wrong, okay. This man says to me, also, hi Kiko. This man says to me, bring me food. I said, excuse me? He said, you heard me. I said, his name. He says, what? I said, you know what? I would have thought you would get me food before telling me to get you food. He said, I got Tim Hortons because everyone sucks. Then he says, nah, I'm done doing things for women because I get nothing in return. Now, did I answer that last message? No. Did he unmatch me because I did not answer that message? Yes.
I don't think y'all really realize just how dumb you sound. You really don't. Or else you wouldn't be putting this stuff out. The man asked you. The man asked you for food. Well, why would I bring you food and you're not going to bring me food? If I bring you food, are you going to bring me food? If I, as the man, bring you food, will you then bring me food as well? No, I'm not going to be doing that. Oh, okay. You as a man supposed to be bringing me stuff. Bingo. Bingo. There's going to be no further conversation. Unmatched. Period. End of story. You did the right thing, sir. You did the right thing. These modern women, well, you supposed to bring me stuff. You supposed to give me gifts. Nope. We're not going to be doing that. We're not going to be doing that at all. You're showing me and you're showing all the other men on the internet just how selfish you are. You did the right thing, sir. Good job.
All the men, I need you to take notes right now, okay? This guy I'm talking to, not even dating, talking to, I was telling him that I was having a bad day and that I wasn't feeling good because I had to get a flu shot, a tetanus shot, and a tuberculosis test a couple days ago, and so I'm still feeling under the weather from those. And he was like, oh, I hope that, like, you start feeling better soon. After work, I was telling him I was going to the gym, and I get home, I had a TV box sitting outside of my front door that I was just lazy to take to a dumpster because it wouldn't fit in my trash can. I come home from work, TV box gone, and sitting in front of my front door is this basket with a blanket in it and snacks and a card from this man telling me that he hopes I feel better soon. And I'm so emotional about it because, like, why is that so hard to ask for? I'm not saying, like, get materialistic things for a girl, but even just, like, a scratch piece of paper, like, taped to my front door just with, like, the same note and, like, him throwing my box would have made my day just the same. So I'm just putting that out in the world. Men, take notes.
So let's run through a couple of comments here, okay? One guy says, this is normal behavior for guys that actually care about you. Yes. We keep on saying that, they don't listen. We keep on telling them the telltale signs of a man caring about you, but they don't listen, right? Somebody says, I hope we're upgrading him from talking to boyfriend. And you should put a question mark. Like, I hope we're upgrading him from talking to boyfriend. Here's what she said. But what do y'all think she said? What do y'all think that she said? Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments. What do y'all think said? What do you think? You're going to be pleasantly surprised at what she said. I'll give you about 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You had enough time. Let's go. So the question, and you're going to be surprised by this. This answer is going to knock your socks off. This might be something that you don't hear every day. The question was, I hope we're upgrading him from talking to boyfriend. Her answer was, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Our careers are on very different paths, and I'm only in Colorado for about 11 more months before moving again. I can see it working short term, but not long term. Did you see that? Did you see that coming? Yeah, you did. Of course you did. Of course you did. As did we all. We all saw it coming. Not taking a freaking note. Shut up talking to me.
If you meet a man that is emotionally intelligent, that is loving, that is nurturing, that is romantic, that is attentive, that is thoughtful,
Damn, you can't have everything. Can you?
that is kind, that does his best in the bedroom, that makes you feel seen, heard, and acknowledged.
Okay.
Why do we need men when an excellent man is just an average woman? What I mean by that is,
I get exactly what somebody explained.
so
Yeah.
if a man is thoughtful, he's kind, he's giving, he's generous, he's all those things I just named.
Yeah, ain't no man giving you all of that.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Women are naturally wired that way. So why, if that's an excellent man, but really that's an average woman, why do we need men?
So why would a woman want a man to have all the womanly traits?
It's a great question.
So
Not from our givers.
He's not a man then. He's not a man.
I'll say this too.
You want another woman.
I feel like those traits that you named, I love, but there's a lot of things that men contribute that weren't on that list. You know what I mean? So
give me an example.
For me, like protection is one. Like can't protect a man, but a man can protect me.
True.
Leadership is another one. Like I look to my man to lead me and like give me guidance and help me make decisions. Like I thoroughly do that. Like, you know, there's so like all of that, those traits, I feel like women, we want men to be us.
Yeah, I agree with
They're not. They're not any of those. Well, let me back up. There's a lot of women out there. They're you might say, well, she's naturally nurturing. It comes natural to her to do that. But attentive, no, they're not naturally attentive. They're not naturally emotionally mature or emotionally stable. We have to stop this. If you were naturally that way, then you wouldn't be in therapy. You wouldn't. It'd be one thing, like say for instance, LeBron James does not need instructions on how to dunk. Cam Ward, a lot of people say he's very athletic, he's very talented, does not need a lot of instruction on being athletic. I'm just naturally gifted in that way. I can jump high, I can run fast, I can do a lot of things because it comes natural to me. Now, do I need to figure out the mechanics of, okay, make this read, do this, do that? For sure. But I am naturally going to go in this direction, right? I'm already on the field. Like if I pick up a football and I just chunk, whoa, that boy can throw. Same thing with the baseball. Oh man, he got a little arm on him. Okay. If a kid runs, he's naturally fast. If he passing up all the kids, he's faster than other kids. He's got speed on him. You don't have to teach him that. These modern women, they are not naturally emotionally intelligent. They're not emotionally mature. They have emotions, but they're not emotionally mature. They know how to get angry. They know how to pout. They know how to scream. They know how to express an emotion. They don't know how to control an emotion. They don't know how to use an emotion properly. Even when they go to therapy, these modern women are terrible. They're terrible at it. And they have to stay in therapy for years for the same thing because they're terrible at that same thing. They're not good people. So no. An extraordinary or an excellent man is not an average woman, because an average woman sucks. These modern women, they suck. They are losers. Now you might get a woman out here that has some good things and some good tendencies and she works on it, right? And hey man, I didn't used to be like this, but over time I learned X, Y, and Z, and I'm the woman that you see today. But let's not do this. Well, an average woman would do that. Like if you say average man can pick up 20 pounds, like most men can do that, right? Yeah, because they got the strength to do it. This naturally, 20 pounds. I mean, 50 pounds. Yeah, man, 50 pounds. Whatever it is. That's what most men can do. Now, if you say most women want to hold a baby or something like that, They're, they they want to care for things. That's naturally what they do. Okay, maybe I can go with you. But emotional maturity. All right. Let's go to the next clip.
I'm telling y'all, we need to follow in French Montana steps. You see, he cracking.
He's cracking.
He's like, man, I'm out here with these. No, I'm good.
Don't listen to Paul. There's women in the States that are cool and a vibe.
Nah, it ain't. The States women, they don't have the same values as these women overseas. They value they man. They priority is they man first. They not shaking ass on Instagram every
Not
day.
every woman is doing that, Paul.
That's American women. That's the majority.
No, not every woman is doing that though. I'm not doing that. So
there's more women in America doing that than out the country.
I can agree, but they're out the country. Women are getting paid $25 to have sex with anybody. Colombia, go there, Brazil. So please kill it because I know. And y'all want to glorify these out the country women. These out the country women, you give them $30 and they're sucking you and all your homeboys in one night. So stop trying to glorify that. I'm sick of it. Anyways, yeah.
I mean, only difference between there and here is the price is up over here.
She presents such a disingenuous argument because to say that the women in other countries are taking $25, $30 for sex, you're comparing S workers of other countries to regular women of this country. He's talking about regular women, not S workers in the United States shaking their butt on TikTok and all of this social media. He's talking about regular women. And the only thing you have to say as a comeback to say that regular women in the United States aren't that bad is to point out S workers of other countries. And before passport bros was a thing, or at least before the term was so popularized, before I met my wife, I was on my international journey to find my wife. It wasn't so popularized back then, but in 06 or 07, I was going to Colombia, I was going to Germany, different countries, Mexico. I was visiting, looking for women who were interested in long-term marriage for this very reason. So a lot of the passport bros that are just now joining this sort of movement, this has been going around literally 30, 40 years. It's not anything new. And I would say if I had not met my wife in my journey or in my era, in my season of trying to find somebody internationally, I absolutely would have found somebody internationally and not have married an American woman. I got lucky in meeting my wife who is American, but for the most part, if I was advising American men, I would say do not close off your options. Absolutely open it up to other countries. You can begin online to communicate with different women, but you do have to have your eye out to make sure you're not communicating with the S workers versus the regular women. It's very similar to here, being able to decipher between the two. But once you have established that this is a non-S worker, it is absolutely a different experience. And I would tell every man, or I used to tell every man, every black man in particular, you do not know your value in the dating and the romance market until you set foot out of the United States. That's when you realize your value.
And, I really love this take. I really love this breakdown. There was a woman, she had a PhD behind her name. You don't really see him flaunting any degrees, but this woman had a PhD behind her name. And she was talking about hypergamy and how it's not real, and the men in the manosphere and the male podcast space, they overinflate and they hyperinflate this and that. And most women don't want, just lying. You're just lying. And they tell you to do this, just lying. And I said in that commentary, these men are what they're saying is these are old heads. These are brothers that been around the way. You got some young brothers in here, but these are brothers that been around the way. They didn't see stuff. And they say, hey, brother, listen, you a grown man. You can do whatever you want to do, but be careful with this. She might do this. She could do that. She could do this. Well, that ain't all women. Listen, I was like you. And I'm telling you, you can go that direction. But these are the questions that you need to ask to get clarity. It might be that she go down some answers and she say X, Y, and Z. And you say, oh, and then you back up. I didn't know that. Had I known, I would have made a better and more informed decision. But you didn't know because you didn't know to ask those questions. You ain't had nobody telling you. I just didn't know. I wasn't aware. So I'm telling you right now, right? You can do away with all that other nonsense and all the toxic stuff, right? Anyway, I won't go into that. But you can do away with all that other stuff. But listen to what I'm saying to you. Open your ears, my brother. These women are doing this, and this, and it's a commonality. It's not just one woman doing it. It's a commonality between a lot of these women. And what he just said was, listen, I was on my journey. I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going here. And I married an American woman. She's a good woman. I like her. And so I married her. And if I wouldn't have met her, I would have still been doing that same thing, looking in different places. That's what men are following essentially the advice that they're telling women to follow. Open your options. Have you ever thought about that man in your friend zone? Have you ever thought about anybody that's not 6'2" or taller? Have you ever thought about somebody that makes less than $100,000? Have you ever thought about somebody that might not be the perfect physique or the perfect body type? Have you ever thought about them? There's plenty of people in between being a complete slob versus somebody that might have a little bit more weight on them, might make 80K versus somebody, or it might be 5'10", might be 5'9". They might be a good candidate for you. That might be a potential match, because y'all get on these apps, a lot of you, and then y'all filter for anybody that's 6 foot and over, 6'2" and over, and you wonder why your matches run out in a day or so. You're like, man, I spent $150 for this. Yeah, you did, because there's plenty of men underneath that threshold that probably fit what you're looking for. Stop being weird. So just open up your mind. Open up your mind. Listen what he's saying and go from there. That's it, man. Man.
So I was horrified when I found out that women die of cardiac arrest at higher rates than men in public. And I thought it was like a knowledge problem, like an information problem. Like if people knew this, they would be more likely to intervene. And some of the comments I got in my video kind of tell me it's not just a knowledge problem. People are just not going to help women in these situations. And that sucks.
So Zico said, you said people are just not going to help women in this situation. But I noticed you're avoiding to touch on the reason why people are not helping women in this situation. Exactly. Let's see if she responded. Dark Tower JW said, came to say this, just emphasizing that not helping is the right choice. He says, read the description. She said it's a fear problem and gave evidence that it's based on unfounded fear. Women are 93% less likely to be blanked in a dark alley by a random stranger than they are in their own home by someone they know. Yet we don't call it an unfounded fear when they carry means of protection now, do we? And this is, I'm just reading people going back and forth in the comments, not in any specific order. I'm still trying to get to why she said that. Okay. She said, I originally thought this gap was a knowledge problem. After reading the comments, okay, so I guess she came back and edited it. She said, after reading the comments, it is clear that for some people, it is a fear problem. Specifically, fear of being accused, sued, or having your life ruined for trying to help. Here is what the actual data and the law actually shows. So probably when she said that, she hadn't provided this statistic, okay? She just said that men are not wanting to help. And then when she saw the comments, she went back and did more of her research. Mind you, she has an MD by her name. She says, here's what the data and the law actually show. In the United States, Good Samaritan laws exist in all 50 states. They are designed to protect bystanders who provide emergency aid in good faith, including CPR. There are no documented cases of a bystander being successfully sued or criminally charged for performing appropriate CPR on a woman in cardiac arrest. Okay, let me go ahead and read all of it. Meanwhile, we do have clear evidence that women are less likely to receive bystander CPR. The gap is largest in public. Survival drops 7 to 10% every minute without CPR. The risk of doing nothing is not hypothetical. It is fatal. Cardiac arrest is already a life or death emergency. Okay, so let me see if I can try to help you out. Okay, so you're saying Good Samaritan laws. You guys don't really understand, once again, what men go through, right? So what men describe a lot of times, or what they're describing, is social reputations. They're describing sexual accusation. They're describing feminist incentive structural problems. So you're incentivized to say something and do something, and there are no consequences and repercussions for what you said and did. That's what they're getting at. There's no this, there's no that. Let me see if I can get this correct. Okay. After Me Too, and a Lean In / McKinsey workplace study found 60% of male managers avoided one-on-one interactions with women. Mentoring women dropped by 40+%. Men explicitly cited fear of misinterpretation and accusation risk as primary reasons. This is literally men opting out of helping women due to reputational fear, which parallels not helping strangers. This is what they're saying that you need to address, and you're not doing it. You went and looked up some law. This is what I'm saying. You've got an MD behind your name. You've got an MD behind your name, but you're not looking this stuff up. This is basic research on Google. ChatGPT will do the heavy. ChatGPT, excuse me, is going to do the heavy lifting for you. If you don't want this, you could just say, well, give me some peer-reviewed articles. Give me some journals. You're asking men, essentially, why don't you guys help? You're asking them, why don't they help? They're telling you, man, I read this. I'm reading on my phone. Oh, Me Too. No. Interesting. He tried to help. Oh, wow. That's weird. Huh. Yeah, I don't want to befall that same thing. We see in videos on this thing here about women acting a fool. Let's go back to the numbers, the statistics. After Me Too, #MeToo, male managers, 60% of male managers avoided one-on-one interaction with women. That's a majority. Over mentoring women dropped by 40%. 40%. 40, and it says 40 plus. According to a YouGov study and a Lean In / McKinsey study. McKinsey is one of the biggest consulting firms, at least in the United States. We're not even talking about globally. They cover different verticals. They don't only do oil and gas. They cover different sectors. Darn near anything that you want to research about and improve, McKinsey gonna jump into it. BCG, the big, it just slipped my mind, but the big four, they're gonna cover it. A&M, they're gonna cover that type of stuff, right? Because it's their business and that's how they make their money. Any type of study, any type of poll, they're going to get, hey, this is what we found, this. And so based on this, you need to do this and you're going to do that. Whether it's right or wrong, we're consulting and we're advising you to go in this direction based on the research we found. You hired us to do this and we're going to do it. 60% of male managers avoided one-on-one interactions with women. Mentoring women dropped by 40%. Why ain't men helping us out? How come men will allow this stuff? After Me Too accusations, we were doing it, but after Me Too accusations, hey man, I ain't touching that. I can see you struggling, but I ain't touching that, man. I don't want to go to jail. And they said it in the comments, and instead of making a video and saying, let me think about this from a critical thinking perspective. Let me try to understand what they're saying. Let me try to see where they're coming from. You decided to go and try to get some evidence to discredit what the men were saying. You're trying to figure out why they're not helping you. That's why. Okay, I see you guys are afraid. Okay. So what I would do in that situation is I would try to do X, Y, and Z, right? If you can, and you got to think quickly because this is serious, it's CPR. If you can, if you're afraid of somebody, hey, can you record me real quick? All right, pull out your phone because I don't want to get in trouble. I'm just saying. And then you go, but this is you thinking quickly. I want you to program. Or if there's nobody around you, hey, I'm so and so and such and such from so and so and such. It looks like this woman just fell out and I'm doing this. I want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. Nobody's trying to do anything appropriate. Okay, here we go. All right. 1, 2, 3. Men are recording themselves now, and you can say it's preposterous, and it absolutely is. It absolutely is. It should not have to be done. I'm just trying to save your life. But if you get up and say, "Oh man, you really try to sneak in a kiss," no, I did. What are you talking about? I was trying to do anything by any means necessary to save you. But once again, after a hashtag, this means Me Too was a part of doing the study. Hashtag Me Too. After Me Too, after that whole movement, McKinsey and Lean In, by the way, I don't know if you remember, there was a couple articles that just came out by McKinsey and Lean In that said Lean In might not be effective as they once thought. And women are still getting left behind. Men not paying attention to them. That's what it says. That's what it said. 60% of male managers stopped messing around with you guys. Okay. Now, when we look at teacher/coach/volunteering distance effect, educational and youth sports research finds male teachers and coaches avoid physical contact, travel, or one-on-one help with girls due to fear of creep accusations. Male participation, I'm trying to talk too fast. Participation in youth volunteering dropped significantly from 1990 to 2020, with scholars citing sexual misconduct as a driver of fear. Again, avoiding risk. Social media mobs as reputational accelerants. Several studies track this. The Oxford Internet Institute found that public accusation events like TikTok, Twitter, or X, and IG generate instant reputational damage regardless of truth, and the internet rarely issues retractions. Defamation scholars call this the irreversible stain effect, right? So you've got a law in there that's saying, okay, he's not guilty or he didn't do it. And after 20 years, the man was found out not guilty. But the internet, because y'all don't go back and say sorry, says, oh yeah, he did it. Oh, didn't he do? Yeah, he did that. Exactly. So instead of trying to say, oh, you guys are not doing it because you hate women, they're telling you, and this is once again, you're an MD. You're an MD, so I know you know how to think on a critical level. And I know they keep y'all up, so you know how to think under pressure. So you know how to think when you're tired. But you must be extremely tired, because this is foolishness. Okay, I see you guys are afraid. What would you do if your patient said, I'm afraid of this? Yeah, well, this. I know, I understand what you're saying, but I'm still not going to get the surgery because I'm afraid. I don't know. You got to help me understand. Okay. As a doctor, I'm trying to care for all of you, mental and physical. I got to combine all of those. And for some situations, the spiritual, right? I might not believe what you believe, but I understand your faith is important to you. And so therefore I'm trying to help you out. And they say, hey, it's okay to do this procedure. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Well, my mom always told me that, my daddy, yeah, well, sometimes mom and daddy, they mean well, but this is what the science says to it. This is what the data says. This is what the evidence says about it. So what do you think? I'm going to let you make the decision. But as your primary care provider or physician, or as a person doing your surgery, I think maybe you should think about this. And once again, if you don't want to get the surgery, it's totally up to you. But you got to look at this, you got to look at that, and you got to look at that. That's what you need to be doing. That's what we expect from our MDs, from our DOs, from PhDs, MBA. And on some level, if you got a bachelor's, I expect you to start thinking, if you've been through any type of academic study and you've received a degree, I expect you to start thinking a little bit more critically, a little bit more focused, and a little bit deeper about what you're saying. I don't know why that's so hard.
Go to a man in your life that you have been around for a minute and ask him, how do you experience my femininity? Ask him. And whatever he says, just accept it. Don't argue with him. Don't explain yourself, but take note of it and really sit with it and say, okay, what are some ways that I can shift into softness?
So I figured I would hop on here today and address one of my videos that recently went kind of semi-viral, at least for me, in terms of views and comments. And I recently posted asking where all the men are in real life. So I've gone through all of the comments. I have cried a little bit. I've laughed a little bit. I've been a little bit worried, but I have compiled all of the information and data and made a flowchart for me, mostly, my use. So here we have my work of art, okay? At the center of it all, we have men. Where are the men? Where are the men? Because I wanted to know so I could meet them in public instead of doing dating apps, because dating apps are bad and they're only hookups mostly. Anyway, so most of the comments went to 3 categories: wilderness, home, and stores. Most men are at home, and I am part of the problem because I am also at home, hence why I'm not meeting any men. But men, or most of the people in the comments, said they're going home, work, gym, home, work, gym, or just home, work, or home, gym, work, or whatever. This is the main circle. However, they are frequenting stores, and not girly stores. They're typically not going to be found in any TJ Maxx or Marshalls, which I did see some comments like that, so I have hope that I will meet my man there. But they're typically going to be at a grocery store, hardware stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, etc., gas stations, and then various hobby stores. Now, the problem with this is, again, potential issues I'm having here. 1, men are not going to approach you. Typically, everybody's over it. 2, they're going to be there for short time frames, and they're not focused on women, or they're on a mission. So when men are at work and they need to go to the grocery store before they go home, they're on a mission, and they're going to be here between like 5 to 6 p.m., depending on whatever time they get off work. And they are going to have their head down. They're not focused on anything, okay? That was a terrible arrow, by the way. And then if they're at the hardware store, they're going to be there really early. And it's either they're there for work or they're there for home reasons on the weekend. So they're typically there between, I don't know, I feel like 6 to 8 a.m. or earlier, depending on what time they open. And they're also, I mean, they can go back and forth because everybody forgets something when they're at the hardware store. And then gas stations are where the worst part is. I saw people saying 4 to 6 a.m., but also people were there from like 9 to 10 a.m. for lunch. And the thing is, you have to have good coffee at said gas station. Oh my gosh, coffee. And good food. And that's where they're going to be. They're going to be getting their stuff before they go to work. They're going to be getting their stuff between 4 to 6 a.m., 4 to 7 a.m., whatever you want to do. They're going to be there, okay? Hobby stores. They're going to be going to Lego stores, movie theaters, Bass Pro Shops, gaming stores, Best Buy, bookstores, pool room. However, I did see some people say pool room, but then they were like, maybe not the best suitors here. So to each their own. I guess it just depends on the person. But that's where they're going to be. Also, people mention church a lot. That doesn't apply to me, but for any women, if you do see this lovely chart I have here, they're going to be at church. So you might find a good man there. And then the wilderness. They're going to be fishing, boating, hunting. They're going to be out by their fire pits. They're going to be hiking. They're going to be generally avoiding women because women are they're on the chopping block now, apparently. So that's cool. And then I just wanted to have an honorable mention to men that are protecting their peace, they're avoiding the drama, and they're generally burnt out and over it all. Now, looking at this chart, first of all, I need to go outside and get off my couch. So that's cool. But I believe in love. I believe that everything is going to be okay, and I'm going to find a man somewhere but in short time frames, and I'll approach them, and hopefully they're not going to be avoiding drama and generally burnt out over it all. And it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. There's hope. There's hope. So thank you to everybody who answered my question. I was not expecting the amount of views and responses that I did, so I appreciate you taking the time out of your day so that I can make this flowchart.
Let's read some comments. Guy says, crazy thing this morning, went to Aldi to get groceries. Bringing back the cart near the entrance and being polite, and offered it to a female who was walking up. She yelled, "Ew, no." I'm saying to myself, okay, don't do that again. Solo life. When these types of interactions happen, the man is just going to be like, oh, I guess not. And he's going to probably go on about a business like this man did. But he's going to note in his mind, oh, maybe not. Maybe I ought to not do that again. And that's going to be the end of that. He'll never make a public declaration. But what will happen is you'll get online and you'll be like, where are all the dudes at? Why am I not seeing any guys? And he's going to say, well, this is probably why. And if you listen to it and make a chart and try to understand, then you'll probably be able to strategize and say, okay, well, this is how I need to show up. And this is where I need to show up. So if I go to church a lot, I'm going to go to church. But this is how I'm going to show up in church. Not acting fake or anything, but it's more so along the lines of there's certain things that I do as a person that I think we all know we probably shouldn't be doing. Okay, let me cut back on that. Let me remove that from my personality or shave that down a little bit so it won't be so in your face. That's an improvement that I made on myself. I can go to therapy, but I can make some improvements on myself too. I don't need to go to therapy and have somebody tell me what I need to do all the time. I can say, oh man, I noticed that. I noticed that women in relationships or women in successful and happy marriages, they do this. If I want to be in a marriage or a relationship, a successful one, I need to start like moving this way and aligning myself a little bit further. I can't be out at the club at all times of the day and night. I can't be, oh, let's go on a girls trip because I have responsibilities now because I chose that. And I have to be happy with the decision that I made. Will I be happy all the time? Will I want to be in this man's face and him be in my face? No, of course not. But this is the decision that I made, and that's what I'm going to stick to. Okay? So there's certain things that you can do based on this chart to say, oh, he's going to be in the grocery store at this time. If I see that man, I'm going to run over there. And you have to literally sprint. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to run over there and put myself in his field of view and see what he does. You don't even have to say a word, right? You can just put yourself in his field of view. That's it. And common courtesy. Like if you say, oh man, he's cute. Wow. Then you might double back around and you make a note, because you're already going to do that anyway. You double back around and make a note of the aisle that he's on. So you go, man, he just went over there in the bread aisle. Because people need bread. You're going to go around there. You might not need bread, but you can go around there and, just kind of be looking at the bread. You kind of look over at him, don't stare too much, but kind of check out and make sure you like what you see. And then if you like what you see, he go. Now, depending if he's moving fast, like these men say that, then you only got maybe 2 or 3 aisles, if that, to get what you need to get up out of him, right? But you might say, okay, I like him, all right. So if he goes down another aisle, then you might just be pushing your basket and you might go down another aisle. and then just kind of look for a little bit and come back around and make sure like you come in that aisle with him, right? And now you're looking, and then you push the basket over where he is. You just kind of you browsing. I'm just browsing. I ain't bothering nobody. I'm just browsing, right? And then he on the candy aisle. You might look at some M&Ms. You like, wow, man. Have you ever had these M&Ms? Have you ever had these M&Ms? Oh man, I think these are like new edition. Man, them ain't limited edition. Them peanuts. M&Ms with peanuts in it. Man, now you don't have to lie, but you just try to set yourself up. You pick a candy that, hey, can I get your opinion real quick, man? So I'm looking at these, and I'm big on chocolate, but I've been seeing this online, or man, have you ever had these? And then just kind of look at him. And just kind of look at him and just like make sure you making eye contact with him. Don't break it. You ain't got to stare into his eyes like a psycho, but just kind of look at him. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. And just kind of make that eye contact. And then you say, "Oh, okay. So you know a lot about chocolate, huh?" I mean, I like chocolate. I like candy just in general. Oh, okay. And then make a joke and then laugh. And if he catches on to it, then he'll start joking back with you. And, oh, yeah, okay. Oh, man, it's great to know. Hey, I didn't want to be, and you might go down the next aisle. And then that puts him into pursuit mode. You go to the next aisle and, you just kind of browse around. You don't need nothing no more because you got all the stuff. Now, don't get no milk because you don't want stuff spoiling. Or you might, don't get no milk. I was about to say, you might get the milk because you don't know how it's going to go. But y'all might, after that, end up talking an hour. You spoil that milk and you got to buy that milk. But, it depends. It depends because it might be worth it. You might find somebody, right? But like I said, you put him in a mode to chase you now, okay? And so you might browse in another aisle that you done already been down 50 times. But I'm going to go in that aisle. I'm going to wait to see what he does. And he might go and look. And you can't make it so obvious that you're looking for him, right? So you kind of turn your back, and you might kind of turn to the side to where you can catch a glimpse of him. And then you go kind of like, you ain't rushing away. You kind of go down another aisle. You kind of, and then and let him come and say, hey, I didn't get your name. I don't meet a lot of people around here. And it was really good to have a conversation with you. And I just wanted to know, maybe I could get your name and your number, and maybe I can contact you, or maybe text you or something like that. And if you're not comfortable with that, maybe I can get your social media, and we start there if that's what you're comfortable with, whatever. I don't usually give my number to strangers, but maybe I could give it to you, and you better text me. You better call me. Oh, I'm gonna do that, and don't wait too long. I ought to be hearing something from you within maybe the next day or two. You a man now. I ain't gonna tell you what to do, but I want to hear from you. I don't want you to leave me hanging. Right? That's all right. That's all right. And let him run with it. Let him take it. There's a way to do it. He already got the information. He done already told you right here what he's doing, where he's going to be. So that lets you know, armed with this research, I can strategize and be where I need to be so I can find myself a man.